The Magna Carta is one of the most well-known documents in history. It is often regarded as a pillar of democracy, liberty, freedom and justice. A great accomplishment for the people. But here's a question, right? Is the Magna Carta good, or is it incredibly overrated? A glorified contract between a terrible king and a bunch of angry rich guys. Spoiler alert, if you're a common peasant like myself, the Magna Carta did absolutely nothing for you. Let's set the scene. It's 1215 and England is being ruled by King John. Now, it would be an understatement to say that King John was a bad king. He lost wars, he taxed everyone into the ground, he fought with the Pope, and he even managed to get excommunicated. John started the Anglo-French War by refusing to appear before the French king in a land dispute. The French king Philip II was angry about this, and to cut a long story short, we lost Normandy. Now, to pay for this disaster, John increased taxes on the barons. The barons were lords who held lands. So, imagine you're a baron, you own land in Normandy, and your idiot king starts a war, loses your lands, and then demands that you pay for it. They were rightfully angry. In June of 1215, the barons forced King John to meet them at Runnymede, and they forced him to sign the Magna Carta, which is Latin for Great Charter. The Magna Carta was 63 clauses of demands written in Latin that basically limited the powers of the king. So, that sounds pretty reasonable, right? I mean, how is it not to the benefit of the people if it limits the power of a terrible king? Well, here's the part that historians often skip over. The Magna Carta wasn't for the people. It wasn't for the peasants, the merchants, the townsfolk. It was written by wealthy barons for the purpose of protecting their own rights. Now, Clause 39 does state that no free man shall be imprisoned, which sounds fair, except that free man doesn't mean what you think. It refers to nobles and landowners. Most people did not own land back then, so the vast majority of people were not included. Magna Carta reads like a really aggressive landlord-tenant dispute. The king had too much power and the barons just wanted to rein him in a little bit, so he stopped messing with their lands and increasing their tax responsibility. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad document, it's just not the pillar of democracy that most historians claim it to be. So, did it work? The short answer, no, not really. King John signed it, yes, but then he went straight to the Pope, who annulled it within weeks. Now, this led to a civil war in which thousands died. King John died not long after, but after his death, the document began to re-emerge and it was edited many times over before being signed by King Henry III and also King Edward I. So, to be fair, the Magna Carta did spark something. Even though it wasn't originally intended to help the people, what followed did, sort of. It introduced the idea that the king's power could be limited by law. That even a monarch had to answer for something. Now that was huge. Over the centuries, the seeds grew into a constitutional monarchy, parliament, and the idea of rule of law. It even influenced the US Constitution, which is ironic as that was written by people that were trying to escape the authority of the British state. So yeah, over time it became a symbol of liberty, but in 1215 it was basically just a very fancy terms and conditions agreement for an inept king aimed at protecting the ultra-rich. So, was the Magna Carta actually good? Yes it was, but only by accident. In the short term, it did nothing to help the people, but in the long term, its significance cannot be denied, even if it did take hundreds of years and a couple of revolutions to actually do something about it. So, is the Magna Carta an historic breakthrough, or just a very well-branded baron tantrum? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.